All right. Well, welcome everybody. We are so delighted that you came back. We're going to ask you to kind of stay on mute, but we'll try to call on people and get you jumping into the conversation. So use the chat box to alert us that you want to be called on. We'll be trying to keep an eye on that and engaging people as they go along. Kyrie, oh my gosh, so good to see you. So this is like old home. I just love this. This is so fun. Okay, so let's refresh ourselves on why we are here, why we are together today. Because we all know that loneliness, helplessness, and boredom is so painful for all of us, but most especially for the elders that we love so dearly. And loneliness, remember, is the pain we feel when we want companionship, but we cannot have it. So this self-isolation, self-quarantining thing may be spawning a lot of loneliness for folks. Helplessness is a pain we feel when we want to give care, but we can't do that, or we want to receive care and we can't do that. It's about losing our purpose and getting kind of out of balance in our life, and we feel helpless when that happens. Chaos and traumatic times can tend to generate a lot of helplessness. And then boredom is that pain we feel when our lives lack variety and spontaneity. There's no more variety, no more surprises left. We are like really confined and regimented and constrained, and I think there may be some people facing that as well. So we thought we'd start off with a Menti. And if you haven't done a Menti, what you want to do is get your phone or your tablet, get them handy, or be by your computer board. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to www.menti.com, and once you punch that in, it'll ask you for a code, and that code is 911146, and then you'll be asked to vote, and you can vote more than once. If you've got other people in the room, you can put their opinion in. But our first question is, what are you seeing the most right now? Are you seeing a lot more helplessness, a lot more loneliness, a lot more boredom, or kind of like a mixture of all of the above? And we just kind of want to take a pulse and kind of see where people are at. What are you seeing from your perspective? Oop, all of the above and boredom are like almost neck and neck. Wow. Yeah, boredom is now coming out as a clear winner. Okay. Give you just a few more seconds. Okay, so it looks like boredom's the clear winner. Oh, loneliness is starting to come up a little bit more. Yeah, loneliness and helplessness are kind of secondary to that. Okay, terrific. All right, so I'm going to pause my sharing for a second here. And then, so it looks like we're seeing a lot of boredom, which means people are lacking some variety and spontaneity and some interesting things happening in their lives. So the next question, it may be kind of a moot point, but we wanted to ask it anyway. So hang on. So the second question, still stay at the same place, but go back out like you submitted, and then you'll enter a new code, basically the same code. But what do you need the most today? What would be the most helpful for you? We talk about ideas to alleviate loneliness, ideas to alleviate helplessness, or ideas to alleviate boredom? What's going to be the most useful focus of our conversation today for you guys? Okay, so like loneliness and boredom are kind of like playing the jumping jacks here. Like that. Maybe just a few more seconds. All right, so not really surprising that boredom, yeah, and loneliness. Okay. All right, very cool. Oh, getting a few more responses. Hang on. Oh, they're neck and neck and neck. Okay. All right, thank you. Well, that kind of gives us a sense of as we share today, kind of, it looks like people are really looking for how do we work on boredom, that's kind of got a lead on loneliness and helplessness, and that ideas to address loneliness and boredom are probably kind of a little bit higher on the shelf than the helplessness at the moment. So we had a couple people that we invited to kind of share what they're doing to just kind of like get the conversation going. Oh, I see Jasmine says ideas to help with dining and meal times on, yeah, people living with dementia while practicing social distancing. That's one of our topics that we wrote down, was like, let's talk about the folks living with dementia, because this is going to be really confusing to them. So we definitely want to hear about that as well. So we wrote down to our friends in Australia, and Sally, you are on the line. Would you like to kind of share what's going on down under? Because I got to tell you, from the Northern Hemisphere, we're thinking this is not happening in the Southern Hemisphere, and we are so wrong. And so we do want to hear from you.
Morning, everyone.
Really early morning. Tell them what time it is there.
Morning. It's 20 to 4 a.m. for me, and I know we've got a couple of others from Queensland, and it's an hour earlier for them. So if I don't make sense, I apologise in advance. Yeah, this is happening, folks. Really happening here in Australia and New Zealand, and elsewhere around the globe, obviously. But this week, it's been a moving feast. We're now in, I won't say full lockdown, but I know with aged care homes, the elders are allowed 2 visits per day, and there's a time limit on that, and there's rumours we're going to go to full lockdown. Oh, sound on, yeah. And in New Zealand, it's chaotic as well, and I have it reliably informed that it's collapsing. The aged care sector is collapsing over there, and some homes are actually closing because they can't cope. So it is quite catastrophic, I have to say. There's a focus on protecting the elders, but also there is a need for families to connect with their loved ones. So it's been really nice with the Eden community to see and hear what some homes are creatively doing to connect their people. But I think the biggest challenge is connection, and out of that flows everything else.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry it's so hard down there. Wow.
Yeah, and you know, we've got 3,000 plus homes here in Australia, not as many in New Zealand. And I did speak to one client during the week, and they're a small home, and she said, you know, we're doing business as usual. We talked to the elders about the risks if they want to go out and all that sort of stuff, and they wanted to continue doing what they're doing. And I think that's hopeful for me. That's really, really cool if we could have that sort of attitude. But you know, this virus is indiscriminate, and it's scary, the numbers. You know, 8 out of 10 people will potentially get this, and then depending on the degrees of severity, yeah, we will see a lot of people die, unfortunately.
So hard. You said you think you have
so we're with you, folks.
Yeah. Thank you, Sally. Oh my gosh. Is there anybody else on the line from Australia? You are welcome to unmute. So you go down to the bottom of your Zoom bar and over to the left. We would love to hear from you. Angela, go ahead.
Hi, yeah, I'm from Brisbane, Australia. So yeah, so we're, same as Sally's saying, we're just dealing with the daily changes of recommendations from government and trying to implement those, but also trying to make sure that life continues as normal as possible, because we know, you know, if we take too much away too quickly, we can't come back from that. So we're trying to find a nice even balance, but also trying to make sure that these elders that we're dealing with are not silly. They understand everything that's going on, and making sure that we're asking them about what, you know, keeping them as part of the conversation as well. So yeah, that's one thing that we're really trying to push forward, is making sure that we're not just having one-way communication, that it's a two-way street. So yeah, so, you know, that's our biggest thing at the moment, or yeah, part of our team that we're trying to achieve. I'd love to be able to mute or be able to ban coronavirus or COVID-19 from the vocabulary for at least one day, but yeah, it's hard, and also trying to mute the media and the negative information that's coming through the media, because they feed on that, and if they are staying in their rooms and not coming out, that's all they're getting coming in. So just trying to come up with creative ways of doing things like, having a challenge day where we don't mention it or don't talk about it or don't view it is one of the ideas that we're trying to come up with, just to keep the negative away, amongst many other things that we're trying to facilitate. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So you said, so how are you curbing the media and all the conversation? Because I would guess even the employees are talking about it a lot, and it has come up. Do you have any tips or anything that you're doing to try to kind of like not have that drive the day?
Yeah, I think it's just keeping the conversations and making sure the staff are getting the right information as well, and they're factual, and they're not feeding on the media as well, which is really, really hard. We understand everyone is frightened and they are concerned about their own families and their own health as well. But I think it's just having those conversations out there, making sure that they're not bringing that to work with them, and not, because the residents, if they're not seeing families and not having the contact with the families, we are their family now. And so to make sure that we are, portraying a positive message and trying not to, convey our fears, or if we do have fears, on them as well, because they already have enough burdens as it is. So it's a tough one. We're forever coming up with creative ideas and trying things, and I'm happy to share. I'm not about recreating the wheel, so I'm more than happy to share anything that comes up with that works and doesn't work and whatever. So,
okay.
And open to ideas as well.
Share two ideas, Angela, and then I'll let you off the hook.
2 ideas that we have. Jeepers. I don't know, ban the C word for the day, whether that works or not. And also we've actually, we're quite lucky with our facility. We actually have smart TVs that are hooked up to the wireless internet in our facility. So we're actually currently looking at abilities to be able to control, or being able to have a channel that is just controlled by, like for Silver Memories. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that we have here available. It's like a music channel where you can actually have different playlists and everything on, that's already done for us. I know there's also Golden Karaoke, I think you guys might be familiar with as well. Golden Karaoke Memories, I think. I'm not sure. I can put the links up that I've got. Okay. But it's a subscription thing. I believe the Golden Karaoke in this current situation have provided 3 months free membership for people to sign up to and be able to use through this period of time. So I'm happy to, if I'll find those links, I'll pop them up. But having dedicated channels that doesn't have news crosses or everything about what's going on in the world. So yeah, that's probably 2. We're really pushing to get our stories out there in the media. We're currently doing some, trying to get some good news stories about what our residents are doing in relation to bushfire relief. So obviously we've had a couple of other things going on down here prior to this. So we've got some very proactive residents that are keen to support bushfire communities and stuff like that. So we're in the process of getting that onto the media, because the media are actually quite keen for good news stories that aren't about COVID virus. So we're hoping to be able to push some of those stories through now that they weren't really listening to before. So fingers crossed.
Very nice. I love the giving back. This is a time when we could do something. That's beautiful.
If I could just jump, hey, Denise, it's Bill. Can I jump in?
Absolutely.
I just want to say, Angela, I wish you could be a member of my community. I'd love for you to be part of my community. You bring so much to the world, and I really love the focus on how you position the elders as what they're caring about and the issues they're caring about. Because let me just say that there's a kind of a worry spiral where worry closes down the range of our thinking and makes us more focused on ourselves, and everybody's prone to it. But the way to fight back from it is to say, hey, there's a whole world, and we have a lot of things we care about, and we're going to keep caring about each other and about the world, and that helps us reduce the worry spiral. And I think you're bang on. And if you could just pass on to the elders that we need them very, very much, and thank them for me, if you would.
All right, thank you.
Will do. Actually, can I just share one other thing? I'm sorry to be like the talk fest at the moment, but you've just reminded of one thing, that how this all came about in regards to the bushfire relief. And Sally will know about this, our hot topic of the week. So we introduced it at the beginning, end of last year. So the residents the elders, the residents have asked for us to call them residents, not elders. So that's how I refer them to. Come together once a week, and they talk about whatever they want to talk about. There's nothing off limits. And that's how that all came up, about helping the bushfire relief and all that sort of stuff. So, so obviously COVID has been part of that conversation leading up to the last few weeks. And I know I was away for a couple of weeks, but I believe that they also talked about different ways on how to, to what their suggestions were about, things to do and how to fund. I think the toilet paper issue came up. Sally may be able to add more to this conversation, because I believe she was part of this one. But that's been really powerful for the residents to be able to talk to us and let us know what they're thinking about. And then we've been able to act on or help them out with contacting people, local media, local dignitaries, politicians and things like that, so they can have their voice heard. Another thing that's happening here at the moment is the Royal Commission into Aged Care. And a lot of negative stories about aged care are coming out through that into the media. The residents aren't happy about that, and they want to get those good news stories out. So that's what we've been working towards, and why we've got these good things happening. So it's really cool. So
very cool. Very cool. I can't believe you guys have a toilet paper issue too. Oh my God.
So just on the toilet paper issue, if I can just jump in on that, because I was in that meeting. We thought that was a good fundraiser for homes. If you've got toilet paper, you can sell it. Go for it. Spare. The other thing was to get families to bring in one roll per family to contribute to each home. But we did have a lot of fun in discussing that. But, the biggest issue for the elders was they wanted to know who was coming into their home and that they actually were following the rules around hand sanitising before they got past the front door. And I think that's fair enough. That's the same with all of us who we let in into our homes. So, but I love the hot topic of the week, and I can't recommend it more in terms of just opening the conversation and hearing how, what is the most pressing concern people have, and talking about it. And I think that's a really cool idea. And having seen it and been in action, it was good and easy to do. Once a week, learning circle, off you go. Can't stress that enough.
Very nice. And it sounds like there's a lot of variety and spontaneity, because you don't know what's going to come up. So, and boredom was one of the things people needed help with. So there you go. Just open the floor and see what people want to talk about. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Evie, you had your hand up. Did you want to contribute anything at this point?
So I just see this as a phenomenal opportunity for Eden. And how do we get on the news media and be interviewed on how a different perspective about how to be with elders, approach elders, and how to enhance their life, as well as the people who work with them. And, it's such a doom and gloom. And I started thinking, I've become a big fan of Crystal Ball and Sagar and Jetty on The Hill Rising. I mean, it's an amazing, it's on YouTube, it's podcast, but they're getting a lot of media attention. And I thought they might be the easiest group to approach to get on the news and start talking about, because they're really about what can we do to help people. And so I thought this is a phenomenal opportunity, not just for Eden, but for everybody to understand how ageism is really impacting this whole virus thing.
Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. Very nice. All right. So we have a couple other people that were willing to speak up today. So is Nicole on? I was looking to see if I saw that Nicole was on. There she is. Nicole, talk to us. There you are.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for Angela and Sally sharing. It really makes us feel like we are definitely all in this together, all across the globe. I wrote down my thoughts because I get nervous when I start speaking, and I have a lot to share, and I want to be mindful of everybody's time.
Can you kind of tell people who you are with? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am Nicole Brackett. I'm a quality and training specialist with HomeWatch Caregivers, And we provide in-home living assistance to those who want to remain home wherever home is. And this is a very challenging time for us and our caregivers, our care partners. So it's more important now than ever just to stay connected. What we're finding is technology has become our avenue to connect at face-to-face online for work meetings, and is a very good way to stay connected personally with family and friends. On a personal note, just before this call, I had my daughter message me on Facebook saying how bored she is, how lonely she is, and how much she wished she was here in Colorado with us. And so I sent her the link and I said, jump on this call, you need to join the call. So she is here with us too. As we have learned from Dr. Thomas, these plagues of loneliness, helplessness, and boredom can affect all members of the care partner team. So just some of the things that have been shared, but just a good morning text, a funny joke, calling up someone and asking simple questions like, what did you make for dinner last night? What book are you reading? What movies are you watching? Staying away from the C word, like Angela mentioned, is very important to create that sense of calmness. I would like to also doe on an important coworker of mine, Mindy Sink, who is maybe on the call right now, but we are so inundated with having to message our network right now. But she is our communications manager and editor here at Home Watch Caregivers, and she does a phenomenal job and ensures that all of our communications are shining and very clear and coming from a reputable resource. But recently, Mindy interviewed a lady, author and family caregiver, Lisa Schultz. Lisa was informed that her weekly visits were suspended to see her mom in an assisted living in response to the efforts to slow the spread of the COVID virus. She shared how she and her mother are managing and gives family caregivers advice. And the advice includes several ideas from, how to make the most of the time at home right now. So some ideas that she included were daily journaling for future generations to read, organizing family photo albums, creating legacy albums, and digitalizing them if possible. And Lisa also suggested using the time to connect and reflect, choosing at least one person to email, text, or call each day. And just information, you can access Mindy's blog on our homewatchcaregivers.com website. And within that communication, you can also gain access to Lisa's blog, which she is entitled Coping Strategies for Coronavirus Self-Isolation. Mm-hmm. And then I would like to also quickly share, if I could at this time, if it's appropriate, what our work is with the Dementia Action Alliance, Optimizing Wellbeing Group. These, I'm addressing some of another vulnerable group of people, the people living with dementia. And I'm very honored and proud to be a part of the Brain Health Subcommittee. And what we are doing is developing a series of webinars guided to inform lifestyle choices and the health and well-being for people living with dementia. The panelists in this webinar series are our true experts, and those are the people who are living with dementia and actively supporting other people living with dementia and their families. The first webinar, before the C word ever came out, was on resiliency. And the second was the importance of meaning and purpose, and how people still have to find that what was purposeful to them before their diagnosis is still meaningful and purposeful to them today. So our experts actually requested that our next topic, in light of what is going on around the world today, is really how do we stay focused on coping. And so I'm going to quote one of our experts, a person living with dementia said, "I focus my coping energy on staying healthy, trying to get enough sleep, and staying active as an advocate while participating in other brain stimulating activities." It's no different from people that are healthy with no underlying diagnosis. We all suffer the plagues, as we all know. For other helpful dementia-related resources, please visit the DAA website at daanow.org. And just remember, we are all in this together, and spreading kindness is free and more contagious than any virus. Thank you for letting me share.
I love it. I love it. And Nicole, people are like jumping on, where's this blog? And so I've got several people, just so you know, in the chat box posting, they found it right away. They're into
Right
it.
on,
The
thanks.
links are out there, so they're awesome. They're awesome. Bill, you wanted to say something. I'm going to have you speak next. You need to unmute, just so you know.
It's actually Jude.
Okay.
Hi, all you beautiful people. I just am so happy to see all of you out there. I just wanted to share a couple of things. One, things that we're doing in our family, and I suggest that you do it with yours, is having convivium on FaceTime. So putting the computer there while you're having dinner and sharing dinner from afar with each other, and that glass of wine and some candlelight and good conversation with people that you love. And so do it at mealtime, not just throughout the day. It's a wonderful way to share your time. And I also wanted to mention that on Saturday, my brother and I have tried to get this thing going where I understand we're from all over the world here, so adjust your time if you can just even do it on Saturday. But Saturday here in New York, and actually we have it happening all around the United States, we're asking people to get together, started with a Tai Chi group. So those who know Tai Chi, if you could do Tai Chi at noon on Saturday. If not, if you could spend 15 minutes from 12 to 12:15 in positive thought and meditation, thinking about world health and sending love out throughout for all of us, both elders, and we're discovering this is really not just limited there. So let's get all that positive thought together at one time and feel, if nothing else, just feel that we truly are, for that period of time, together and united around the world. I'm thinking of all of you.
Time zone clarification, was that noon Eastern time that you want everyone to align to? Eastern time, Jude?
Yes, I mean, that's when we're doing it here in the United States. My feeling is if we just all do it on Saturday, sometime within that 24-hour period, it will still make a difference.
And I would add that this is a great thing for those of us who are in the company of elders to encourage the participation of elders in holding up the world. I remember our good friend Barry Barkin always reminded me and Jude, we always reminded us that, you know, elders can hold the center. And if we give them a chance and we honor their perspective, they can be part of holding up that feeling of goodwill and health and belonging that is in short supply and that we need.
And please invite your elders to join in on this. We need everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Your elders, I'm sorry, that was a big faux pas on my part.
I
The elders, our elders, all of ours.
All right, all right. All right, so Nancy Fox, you put something in the box. I don't know if you want to chime in and say it, or I can just read it.
I want to see Nancy. Where is she? I need to scroll to the right and find her camera. There's Sandy. Hi.
Hi.
There they are.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Good to see your beautiful faces.
This is so wonderful
faces.
to see all you wonderful people.
I was just commenting that Sandy and I had our first virtual personal training session today. Our personal trainer came into our home via FaceTime. And I really believe that exercise is an immune booster. It helps with your human spirit, helps you feel better and be happier. So I suggested that communities could reach out to personal trainers who are really suffering right now too, because all the gyms are closed, and to contract with them to do virtual exercise sessions for your staff to help them with their immune system boosters too. So.
Very nice. Thank you. Good to see you guys. Yay.
Yeah, you too.
Yay, yay. All right. And so Michelle, where did Michelle go? There she is. Michelle, I'm sorry, Michelle Daniel. Would love to hear from you.
That's cool.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, everybody.
So how are you guys eliminating loneliness, helplessness, and boredom? What are some of the cool things you get going on?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to the doctor right after this because I've got like sinus stuff, but so I sound like a man. But I want to show you. Can you see this?
Something if you are loved, smile. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the yard art that's popping up in our communities that people from the greater communities are doing to show the love and spontaneity within our organization. So all over the state of Mississippi, people are putting these signs throughout the state, throughout our campuses, our communities, and then also bringing pets to the windows and sons and daughters on the phone outside of windows, because we are completely locked down at this point. The state of Mississippi is, no visitors. So we're being really creative with that. Certainly technology, lots of fun moments. Facebook is going berserko with the great things. And I just want to share with all of you, our Eden family, we think outside of the box and we do those great things, but we don't give ourselves credit. This is the time to be posting on Facebook what the awesome things that the team members are doing, what the elders are doing, dancing in the hallways or whatever they're doing that's fun, dressing up for St. Patty's Day. Put it out there, because there's a lot of, I feel, depression of, I'm a hugger and I can't hug anybody, and so just seeing that happiness, seeing that joy, and going, wow, there's something different going there. And I'm convinced the people on my computer screen right now, the places where you're affiliated, the places that you guide, are showing that love and spontaneity and variety and all those amazing things, combating loneliness, helplessness, and boredom. It's not about how can we control the elders. This is about how we can grow in the midst of this and getting it together. So you had asked me specifically, do you want me to go through the questions you had?
Yeah, anything you want to contribute, yeah.
Yeah. So she asked me, how do you see people supporting each other through potential loneliness, helplessness, and boredom? Kind words, gestures of love are important. Live music, people that are playing music in by the front door, or somebody who comes in, but they're playing in a foyer for everyone to hear. Like, it's just really awesome. Karaoke, elders broke out in spontaneous karaoke the other day, and they're all taking turns. They had the 6 feet space, but then they all enjoy the karaoke and dancing. One group, of course, were, religiously affiliated with Methodist Senior Services prayer. An entire group was like, hey, we need to do a morning devotion. So everyone's going to their doorway of their bedrooms or their apartments, depending on the campus, and they're praying together. They're reading aloud and they're praying together and lifting up their prayer concerns, and they're guiding each other. They're praying for staff members, team members. It's really amazing. I am not a bingo person, but doorway bingo apparently has gotten very popular. Golf cart rides, when people get really bored, they take a ride on the golf course around the community. So they're free rides for anyone who wants a ride. Elders are manning the doors at night at the independent. I have to tell you, this is interesting about empowerment. Elders at the independent living communities are like, this is our home and we're manning our own door. And, hey, that's not necessary. It's fine. Oh, no, this is our home. So we're going to check the temperatures of anyone who's coming in here. And so, okay, this is your home. Okay. So that's really cool. The wisdom elders provide that can calm everyone in this chaos. We're in this together, and there's such a solidarity, and the barriers are being broken all over the place, and it's really cool. Enjoying simple pleasures, because sometimes we're so busy being busy. This has really given us the time to enjoy those simple pleasures, that gardening, just that time together. We can space out, that's fine, but just talking about those simple pleasures and meeting those simple pleasures is important. You asked about what are we learning about scarcity mindset and its impact on us, including elders. We're sharing like families should. If an elder needs deodorant and someone has deodorant, give them deodorant. If somebody, it's simple, guys, but it's so many times it's like, this is my stuff and this is her stuff. But everyone is sharing, and it goes beyond just the community, but our sister campuses If somebody needs something, somebody's driving it to the next place. If somebody needs childcare, we're working it out, you know, and it's just, why weren't we like this before 2 weeks ago? I mean, we were, but not to this level.
Yeah.
But everyone is sharing, and there's so much kindness and so much goodwill being shared. It's really nice. Even though I'm talking fast, we've learned to slow down because we've had to cancel those meetings. We've had to cancel those times that travel or whatever. We're slowing down and we're taking that time with elders. And that's so crucial because so many times, don't we hear elders tell us in the hallway, slow down? And we've had to, and now it's more meaningful. So, and then how can we support elders living with dementia during this time? Excuse me, while keeping our cool. Being in the moment, just be in the moment. Stay calm and enjoy each other. And that's just in a very nutshell time. But we've been meeting regularly as our community's leadership. And what's happening is beautiful because the love and kindness of people is being shared. And this has actually given us a grand opportunity to go above and beyond what we normally do.
Very nice. Thank you, Michelle. Oh my gosh, people are responding. So get in the chat box if people are responding to what you posted. I love it.
Can I just throw in,
yeah.
Michelle, great presentation. And what I really loved about it is you took specific things, that were real things happening, and then connected them to the bigger ideas. So you kept taking us specific to general, specific to general. I thought that was really helpful. And as you were talking, I was actually making a few notes in the chat box because I was getting a lot out of your comments. And I thought you put your remarks together in a really skillful way.
Thank you. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, y'all.
Yay. Thank you, Michelle. All right. So Karen Stobie, you are writing some really amazing stuff. I wondered if you wanted to have the floor for a few minutes. Need to have you unmute. Go down the bottom and to the left. That should be, there you go.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My comment to the right, which you can read on your own, but I've just been thinking a lot about the families and the persons who are living with dementia who are not in a care community, and how many of them, and how it's already so hard for a lot of the families, and now they are sequestered. And so we all know, you know, if there's just something we can brighten their day, even if it's a neighbor that you have never really, you don't have their email or their phone number, but you know they're 3 houses down from you, you know, and that you could go and get some chalk and write on the sidewalk. My friend and her son were going around writing jokes to where as you took a walk in the park, you would get the joke and then the answer would be a little further down. And we just made some, you know, you've got time on your hands. Grace is making a pie, and we're going to make a couple of little ones and bring them to our older neighbors that we've got down the road, and just kind of ding dong ditch a pie, you know, put the pie on the front porch, ring the bell, back away, wave. And, you know, where we keep in touch with these folks who, they don't know how to FaceTime. They don't know how to do this. And they're out in the community completely alone. My Grace's girlfriend, Molly, we talked about, like, she plays the guitar and the ukulele. Let's go down and hit a few houses, you know, and just play and sing badly outside people's houses. So I just want to just put that out there to everybody. If you could just reach out to one of your elder folks that are in your community, I think it would just be so lovely.
Very nice. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. And Kyrie, you had a really creative idea that you shared. I'd love to have you say it out loud if you're willing. Oh no, we don't have sound. She's unmuted, but there's no sound, darn it. No sound, Kyrie. Okay, all right. I'm going to try and find it. It was something about the Wheel of Fortune, which just really caught my eye. So hang on. Now I got to find it again.
She shared that somebody had put a Wheel of Fortune outside their window and invited passerbys to come and take a spin and have a little interaction. Great story.
Very cool. Very cool. I love it. All right. Thank you, Kaven, for catching that. Okay. And Tina Taylor, you had something you wanted to share as well.
Yeah, I have been amazed by so many of the things that have been said. I think I agree with everything that's been said. I think it's really easy to get caught up in the negativity, but I've also been so overwhelmed by the amount of connection and some of the like small beauties that are coming out of this. And I don't know, the grace that I see that people are offering each other that I think that we often don't see day to day. And so I think that there is a lot of, it's easy to see the negativity and the hardship of it, but I think there's also a lot of beauty that's coming from this. Yeah, one of, so my own siblings are home with kids right now that were kind of abruptly taken from or are not in school anymore. And after day 2, my sister called and she's like, I've already expelled my daughter twice and I can't deal anymore. And so she's like, I literally just need 5 minutes to load the dishwasher. So I was like, well, you know, I know some very, very good readers, and they all are very much missing grandkids right now. They're missing family, and let me see it. They would love to be a solution. And I think that they're people who are just wanting connection right now. And so I had a lot of our elders here, or a lot of the elders here are holding story time. And so they're serving as guest readers for story time. So we kind of started with a post and then, you know, yeah, they are reading daily for about 15 minutes sharing stories. And then the other great thing that kind of happened was we posted on Nextdoor. Actually, well, my husband and I posted on Nextdoor just kind of asking if people would consider dropping off cards, things like that for elders. And then also if they would want to, if they had a child who was learning to write, if they'd want to maybe do like a pen pal type of situation, because let's be honest, sometimes writing is a lost art these days. So yeah, we had like an outpouring of people who were interested, and within probably 3 days, we had letters that were coming in. They were getting dropped off. We were getting, actually, I think I have some that are on my desk still, like tons of pictures that were getting dropped off, just for people who wanted to let elders know that they were thinking of them, that they cared. People just wanted to know, they want to do something. And so we have started also a pen pal program with different people in the community. And I think, I mean, honestly, it just like, I think I enjoy getting the letters just as much as they do. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And what I like about what you're sharing, and everybody else too, because boredom came up so high on that Mentimeter, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, so the talk's all going to be about the entertainment, but you guys aren't talking just entertainment. There's little snippets of entertainment, but what I'm hearing is the kind of things that really fill the soul as well as the hours. And so I really love that you guys are really focused in on the person and the wellness of the whole person, and not just let's entertain them for another 15 minutes with this thing. And so I really love that you guys are doing that. So thank you for that. Because it's really easy to get sucked into that entertainment answer when we're trying to fill somebody's time. Trisha, Jean, I want to make sure that we give you time. There's just so much good. Make sure you're watching the chat box. I will send the chat out to everybody, but wow, there's some really good stuff going on in there. Trisha, Jean?
Hi, everyone.
There she is.
Hi.
You had some really great stuff you put in the chat box last week, and I'm sure that more has evolved this week.
Yeah, so I'm in Rochester, New York, and we are on full restrictions. So only folks who are at end of life are allowed visitors at this time. And we all also have to wear masks, which has kind of been sort of scary and hard to communicate. So we're working through that. But we started a buddy program. So everyone in the building I have 5 buddies that I visit every day and talk with them and learn from them. And one happens to be my aunt, so that's awesome that I get to, you know, be that person for my family. But we've also set up Zoom accounts for everyone, so we're Zooming and FaceTiming our elders and their family members, which is really helping the family members much more than the elders, actually. It's been amazing to just sit and be, which everyone's kind of been alluding to, and learning from them. And they know how to be with themselves. It's, you know, my generation and even some of our family members' generations that don't know how to just be. And, you know, I went from 5 practices a night or 5 practices a week with my daughter to absolutely nothing. So we don't know what to do with ourselves, but we're learning to just live through this together. And the more we talk about it and the calmer we stay, the same with our staff members. So, you know, one resident told me the other day, she's like, honey, we split a potato between 6 of us for dinner during the war. This is nothing. So I was like, you're right. And so, you know, it's just remembering that they've lived through this and so many other things that they don't know why we're acting so nuts about it. But, you know, we're doing the Zoom, we're writing down stories. We're doing like resident council via Zoom because residents can't gather together, right? Or, you know, go from household to household. So we've started doing it that way also, which is a neat way so we don't have to stop that larger group gathering, but we're getting creative. Now that, you know, the crisis of everything seems to be slowing down and we're understanding the rhythm of our days, it's awesome not to have meetings and just be with people. So for our folks living with dementia, it's one or the other. It's either like they don't even notice anything's different, or we're just coming up with more creative ways to talk with them and be with them and still learn from them also. Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you for remembering the being and doing. We talk about that a lot, and we're busy doing, and now we have to slow down and be, and it's like, this is really hard.
Yeah.
So I think about the elders who are in that phase of being, and how cool it is that now they can like be your anchor.
Yeah.
They can teach you how to like center yourself, and where normally we wouldn't put enough value on who they are and the gifts they have. Today their gifts are like extraordinary. So.
Absolutely. I think one of the hardest things is we've had a lot of birthdays. It was someone's 100th birthday yesterday, so you know that stinks, but we did make the favorite milkshake, went in and sang, you know, all that stuff. We have a banana split on hold for tomorrow, so we're trying our hardest to meet those simple pleasures and be the family that we are here with the elders. So.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you, Trisha Jean.
Thank you, everyone. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I want to check in with Bill and Jude. Anything you guys want to say before I move on?
First off, Jude, if this is a picture of a woman glowing with pride, so what does glowing with pride look like? Look in the dictionary. That's what it looks like.
Glowing with happiness.
Happiness and pride. And I really want to center this notion that being has value, and that to be, you know, to be an elder and to be a care partner and to be a brother or sister, the being part is valuable. And we have been, everyone on this call has been dunked in a tank of doing, and we have been told that the only valid use of our time or energy is doing, and that the only things that matter are what can be counted and sorted and ranked and rated. Mm-hmm. But when this change comes upon the world, we very, very quickly remember that actually there's something even more valuable than doing, and that is to be with each other, to be for each other, to love one another. And that, you know, I'll just say, you know, Jude and I, we don't know what lies ahead for us or any of the people we love, but we know that we can live this day as in a way that opens us to a deeper understanding of the world we're living in and a deeper understanding of each other, and that we can value the truth of relationships, of friendships, of longstanding, of family, of each other, and that no one, and this is the point I wanted to make, Denise, no one can mock us for that, because it's true at the most foundational level of our humanity. And this terrible, terrible, awful virus can lead us closer to the truth of our existence, the truth of our humanity. And Jude and I are committed to doing what we can to find our way back to a better and more balanced way of living. And Jude?
If I can say, we're still learning from Hannah, because she's the one who said, along with her sister Haley, take each day at a time. And we never knew how to do that. And that's what we're doing now. Each one of us needs to take every day at a time.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Heidi, I'm going to get to you, but I wanted to read, we did get some feedback from Sylvie. And Jill, I don't know, do you want to share what Sylvie said, or you want me to read it? I don't know if you're prepared or not.
You can go ahead, Denise, if you have it right in front of you.
Yeah, tell them a little bit about who Sylvie is, though.
So Sylvia is the leader of Anam Cara community in Queensland, Australia. And Bill, you and I both got to visit that community. And I just did a FaceTime visit with the elders and the residents there this week, or the team members this week. So it was super fun. And so she sent over some of the things that they're doing at their community.
Nice. So here was their list. There's some things I really kind of like on this. She said they're Skyping with the partner schools, so they must not have schools closed down there yet, so they can connect that way. The live zoo cameras, I hadn't even thought of that, but our zoo has a live camera and you can watch the animals, so that's kind of cool. They're doing armchair travels with Google Earth, and then when they go visit a different place or country, they're cooking food appropriate for that. I like this. The leisure and lifestyle team dress up as air hostesses and take residents on flights, going through the whole takeoff safety procedure. That was funny. What Nancy Fox was alluding to, they're doing online Zumba and Tai Chi classes together, so they maybe should be doing that tomorrow sometime. Well, it's already Saturday there. They're connecting up and learning about the different cultural backgrounds of the people that work there. That was pretty cool. They're doing port and poetry. I so want to do this. I just got a new bottle of port the other day. A resident reads poetry whilst others join in sipping on port or their favorite alcohol or non-alcoholic beverage, and they're doing it in person as well as via Skype. I thought that was really cool. They are continuing to have walking groups, exercise group, board groups, all that kind of stuff. Skyping with residents in other homes. So I thought this was really cool. They would be so keen to do this with Eden Homes in the States. So if you're interested, we can help make that connection and you can have conversations with them from afar, which would be pretty cool. And we talked about the current affairs. Oh, so this community cup, here we go. So they're having a community cup. Each community challenges each other and points are accumulated by the end of the year. So who makes the best cupcakes, who grows the best vegetables, whose chicken lays the bigger eggs, that kind of stuff. So they're having a little competition going on in their community. That this would be pretty cool. And then the residents giving back to the staff. They're doing a staff kindness pack, which has tissues, a resident made handbook, a resident made thank you card, the residents' favorite recipes, and some Hershey's Kisses. So they're making little kindness packs for their care partners, which I thought was cool. So I wanted to share that. And then Heidi, I didn't know if you wanted to add anything to the conversation.
You know, I'm loving all the ideas. I don't know who's watching who, but anyway, our director of nursing keeps coming in and watching and looking and asking me what you guys are all talking about. She's running around like crazy, of course. But the ideas are fantastic and you guys have been so helpful. We are, you know, sadly slower to uptake on this, and but we're getting there, and you inspire me to really get this going, and definitely things that we can do to make this, you know, better for our community. So our elders are going to appreciate all of your suggestions.
All right. Thank you.
Denise, can I just jump in really quick? And, you know, Heidi, thank you for saying that. You know, I think we all need to give ourselves a little grace right now, because this is all, everybody's world has changed, and, you know, people are reacting, and, you know, everything's about safety, safety, safety. So don't feel bad if you're not doing these things right now. You are on this call, and it takes a little bit of time to react and get into what this temporary new normal looks like. So, you know, this, I love the sharing, and if just take what you can from it, and the fact that you're here is what matters, I think.
Well, I definitely appreciate you all, and thank you for that, because I think, you know, speaking for both Patty and myself, we both feel like we want to do so much, and when you're dealing with the day-to-day families, you know, we've instituted FaceTime and Skype, and that's been huge. All of a sudden we're inundated. I have 6 appointments this afternoon to help family members. So those have been great. And some of these ideas have just been amazing today. So, you know, we're coming together.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, we're getting down to our last 4 minutes. I want to call on Joan Devine because I can see her responding to something that Kim McCrae put in the box. And I do want to have Joan have a few minutes to share what the Pioneer Network is doing.
Thank you, Denise. I had to tell you first off, this group is incredible. Wow. Obviously, everyone truly embraces the value of elders because it has spilled over. And obviously, this group has learned from elders, and it is just shining right now in these very challenging times. So I just wanted to share what we're doing. And Kim, that was a great lead in, bless you. One of the things at Pioneer Network that we realized, we don't have the answers to this. It's the people that are out there that are doing it and living this every day. They're the experts. So what could we do to help? Because we know time is precious for people out there in the field. So what we decided to do was just try to gather resources, and we created a spot on our resource library on our website. It's called ABCs of Combating Isolation, because we had to use an A to get it to the top of the list. So we had to use a little creativity that way. But really what we're trying to do is taking anything we can get from people. We're watching Facebook, we're watching emails that are coming through to us, we're getting messages from people, we're hearing things. I got some great ideas last week being on this call, and people shared them with us. So they're coming from all different sources. Our goal is that they be free and accessible, and some of them are not that, they're not rocket science. Some of them are links to some great YouTube sites that maybe that life enrichment team at the community doesn't have time to be hunting up. So can we help them find them easily? Our partners have been wonderful. As you all have seen, so many people are offering free webinars, and they're offering resources. And these are organizations and companies that are hurting themselves because they have no income right now. But they are generously sharing resources with people, with communities, so that they can get through this very challenging time. So it has been, I mean, it does your heart good. So I would welcome, and this group has so many incredible ideas. I would welcome you sharing them, and if you're okay with my sharing, with working with Eden to share these resources that are coming from these calls, because the more people we can get them to, the bigger difference we can make. We are a network. We're in this together. And Eden, what a great partner you are. So thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. So that's the central repository. That's where you want to go and put your stuff and get stuff out. And we appreciate that you guys are being that resource for folks. So I want to check in. Meredith, did I miss anybody that wanted to be called on that you can see?
Good. No.
Okay. Okay. So I know, Jenny, Dill, you were putting stuff in there. I love, Susan has this great story about toilet paper. And I don't know, Susan, we have 1 minute left. I would love if you would share that and in your voice.
Yeah, so one of the things, so I serve an outpatient community for a neuroscience hospital, and we have a very large, we have the oldest dementia program in the area. And so we have very large dementia caregivers groups. I do 5 groups myself, and then I have 2 other colleagues that actually do groups on their own. And so one of the things that we've been doing is, you know, this scarcity thing that we were talking about that somebody else shared is the stories of what we're going through now, other people have gone through, and there's value in what they went through. And this is a time where we can actually get them to tell some of those stories about what they went through. And this is a story that somebody shared. He says, it was 1944, everything was rationed. My mom heard that the Clover Farm store would be putting out toilet paper. She and I crowded into the store aisle with 20 savage women. A clerk carried a huge case on his shoulder, dumped it near us, and ran for his life. My mom was one of those who clawed the case open. She tossed me a roll and elbowed her way out with her own roll. I had to check out, clutching my dime and my TP, scared that I would be busted, while my mom was in line, pretending she didn't know me. I've been here before. And he told it in such a visual way. You know, I loved all the things that he added. And this really just rolled off his tongue. And, you know, he was somebody who's really stoic in general. And I said, I want more stories like that. And his wife was so surprised that, you know, this story came out of him. And, you know, that's an opportunity to engage them in any way possible. And, you know, for families to hear some of those stories they may not have heard, because there's been not a reason to tell those stories.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Well, we thank you, Susan, for coming on and sharing the story. So we are at the bottom of our hour. I know people have things to go. Things are keeping in the chat box. I'll stay on, keep chatting away. I will get the recording link out to everybody. I will get the chat out to everybody with all the links and stuff that you put in there, and send it far and wide. Get it out there. We really want people, and we really, like we did last week, get on Facebook Live and tell people what you're doing, or post on Facebook. Get the word out there of the good things you're doing. Inspire others, because you're doing it. You are living it. You are doing it. And so we really, really appreciate all of you. Bill and Jude, any closing comments you want to make?
We love you.
Okay. Jill, anything you want to say?
Just thank you all so much. This is such an amazing gathering, and we're doing this again next Friday too. And as long as we need to, as long as you all want to do this, we'll do it.
Okay.
Yep. Be there.
All right.
See you
next
week.
Thank you,
Awesome.
guys. Have a
Thank
great
you.
week.
Bye.
Thank you, Eden, friends.